Hi, I'm Vita, and I'm here to provide my completely unbiased opinion on how much I love Deltarune. Toby Fox, the creator of Deltarune, is quite the interesting character, creating the #1 indie game of all time, that being Undertale. However, if you've known Toby Fox and his antics, it's best you know that Undertale was just a test. A test to see if he could make a game. Short answer, the test worked, and now he's making his dream game, Deltarune, specifically by the chapter. You see, when it's being released by the chapter, it feels more like a test of engagement to see if we'd be interested. For example, Chapter 1 focused on setting up this world, and Chapter 2 centered on beginning character development and introducing new characters into the main story. It was really cool stuff. Chapter 2 had popped off and grabbed a lot of people's attention to build up that hype for the next chapters, and oh boy, did the next chapters deliver. Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4 had delivered beyond players' expectations, and Toby Fox has blown our official Fangamer $16 annoying dog socks off with these chapters. The internet is eating up, and I've been eating up since the launch, and I'm still hungry. Boy oh boy, where do I start? Honestly, let's start with the story. The story has done well to set the tone, creating such a serious tone at the start of Chapter 3 with questions revolving around the game, and then the game goes, yeah, this is getting too serious. So let's pop it up with a quiz show. Yippee, woo, ah, and all that. Gosh, before things even get emotional, let's just have more of a lighter mood and turn that frown upside down, and I adore how happy this actually made me. Just seeing the characters enjoy themselves on a fun little stage playing an old school Zelda-like game and a good old final minigame at the end. Really fun stuff. And really awesome seeing that Toby Fox and his team's finished product came out with a banger start out of the bundled chapters. If we move on to the character designs, I kinda love all of them. They're all so fun and really captured the living room aesthetic. We have the TV character as the game shows. We got all these black and white mafia enemies who are super silly and likable for silent NPCs. And we got this old electric socket power strip. I like this guy. Anywho, not just the characters, but the whole set design is so cool. Even knowing what the environments from the previous chapters were, I think I like the newer worlds and just how hard the art goes. Chapter 3's TV world really captured the blitz and glamour of it all, and continue to add on the more you explored it. Lastly, let's talk about the music, because Chapter 3's music has been on my playlist non-stop since release. This chapter has some of the most boppin' songs out there, further cementing how just fun these are. At this point in the script, I feel like I'm just the person meant to hype you up, and the soundtrack is what's keeping me going. I cannot describe to you how much I love these songs, nor how to describe their genres at the moment of writing the script in the middle of the night. But I can tell you that some of my favorite songs are in the second half of the chapter. One of them being the overworld music, the boss theme, and the secret boss theme. And when I mean the secret boss theme, I mean the secret boss theme, because that goes hard. Apparently it does contain a melody or leitmotif, I don't know what to call it at this point, that you may have heard from earlier chapters repurposed to go really hard on this track. If you really want to know what it is, you gotta go and play it. If you're still here, let's talk about why I named my video the way that it is. My reasoning for Deltarune dethroning Undertale as the best indie game ever, and the answer lies in Chapter 4. Knowing the very serious ending and usual cliffhanger of Chapter 3, and the super serious, not really, opening to Chapter 4, it is safe to say the plot is getting deeper. For the chapter that is smack right dab in the middle of the 7 chapters for this game, it's gotta have impact and it's gotta deliver it well. So why not go to church, have a fun little group study session at a childhood friend's house, and play Among Us for a little bit. Okay, jokes aside, this is a nice feature that giving us different perspectives on some nice little plot points and relations outside of the Dark World storyline, and just some friends having a good old time. Until the gang gets kicked out of the house and locked outside of Chris's house, where Chris and Susie has to go out and look for Toriel. But instead, they found another Dark Fountain. Who would have guessed? However, jumping into this Dark Fountain drops us into a world with some weight to its story. The story gives our heroes a purpose. Rather, it knows their purpose and the weight they have to bear. This serious tone seeps into the characters and it draws out their emotions perfectly, forcing them to communicate with one another to solve this and their issues together. You've traveled with the Lancer fan club for the past 3 chapters, and knowing them for this long may lead to some rather intense feelings that Chapter 4 leaves with you. Toby Fox really does feel like a puppeteer tugging at our heartstrings in this one, and finishing the chapter leaves us with a lot to think about. Don't get me wrong, Undertale was an amazing game that has stuck with me for about a decade now. Undertale is a decade old now, which has been in development for much longer too. But Deltarune is a game that was released in 2018. So much has happened since 2018, and it feels like an old friend every time I come back to it for a new chapter. And call it my bias, but that's what made chapter 4 for me. The anticipation to read the next chapter in a book with its new pretty art. Speaking of art, I especially love the glass art seen in the background, as well as its use of symmetry. That's probably just because I'm a sucker for symmetry. But like I said earlier, this chapter needed to have an impact, and what's better to complement its story than with some music? The music feels so in sync with this chapter for its story and its message that it really wants you to feel like your decisions matter for once too, and how you may interact with the story or how you may feel helpless just sitting on the sidelines as the story goes on. Not to mention, some of the overworld music just goes really crazy for no reason, to where you can see some of the comments on one of the videos questioning, why do the time signatures constantly change on this one song? Honestly, my Deltarune theory for this one is that he's kind of just showing off at this point. But really, who could blame him? This is his dream game we're talking about, and he knows what he wants from us and how we want to ask him for more. I gotta say, one of my favorites from Chapter 3 is one of the minigames. If anyone remembers the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal direct, it was showing the rhythm game that's in Deltarune, and I love rhythm games, and other people too. So much so that fans create a fan-made Deltarune Lightners Live Plus game to just play the minigame, and I think that goes to show how much people would love this too. Link in the description to play it. Deltarune has been so much fun, I even got inspired to create my own little animation regarding a little pumpkin. Finally, I have a reason to use the little link button in the top right corner, so if you'd want to check it out, click here. It's really cool, I'm really proud of it. I love Deltarune. Deltarune has been a part of my life for 7 years now, and I look forward for more Deltarune tomorrow. Chapters 3 and 4 has left a really wonderful impact on its player base, and will continue to drag more people in. Heck, because I've been hyping it up, I got a friend to finally try Undertale after a decade at this point, and another friend who has not played a single player game in forever to give Deltarune a shot. Somehow not knowing anything from it all. I don't know how this guy avoided spoilers for 7 years. It's a game that really has left an impact on me and millions more. I don't know what else I could say to convince you to give it a shot. But if you like a fun story, silly characters, and a refreshing take on games, Deltarune is absolutely worth it. Hey, thanks for watching the video. This was sort of a rushed middle of the night kind of video, just because I couldn't stop getting Deltarune out of my head. Hopefully I'll get some clarity from this, and continue my other scripts I've had in the works. Also, happy late anniversary to the channel! The anniversary is back on May 9th of 2024 for my first video about Maiden and Spell. It's been a long while, and I'm glad to have y'all here with me for this journey. I might start a Patreon for funsies. Kinda wanna do a fun little bingo card from this YouTuber over here, where you create a little profile pictures for your Patreons. That looks fun. Aside from that, I got another video coming in the near future if you've seen some of my other posts of mine. So see you next time, and bye bye!